setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
WBT, this is Michael Lodge. This is Sunday. Just a few more days until Thanksgiving, and that's what we're talking about this whole week. No business, no taxes, no politics. We'll be talking about Thanksgiving. I'll be right back.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518. Or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
I always look forward to Thanksgiving. It's my favorite time of the year. Usually during this week, with Thanksgiving week, I usually shut down my office, start doing some relaxing. This week, my office will be closed, but I'm going to be sitting back on my computer and writing a few more chapters in my book. Just a few more to go and I'll be done. But I love Thanksgiving week because it's time where people begin thinking about, okay, what are we going to serve? What dishes are we going to make? People start calling each other, hey, what are you going to bring? Are you coming over for Thanksgiving this year? Come on over. Let's go. I love Thanksgiving. It's that time where you sit back and you really do give thanks. We're not really giving thanks about the car we drive, or the stuff we wear, or all that nonsense. We're really thinking about what are we really thankful, and we're really thinking about life, our life. Every single day we should get up and we should say, you know what, look up at God and say, you know what, Lord, I am so thankful that I have one more day of life. Thank you for giving me this time to make a change. To do something good. To say I love you to somebody. To hug somebody. To cook breakfast for somebody. There's so many good things to be thankful for. But we tend to forget about all that because we get so busy and we get so caught up with all of this nonsense of life of trying to survive. We forget about, you know what? Just the simplest of things can make us happy. I know simple things make me happy. Happy. Life is good. This is the week that we should be thanking every single day as you're walking down to Starbucks and you sit down to have that peppermint coffee and sit there and just watch the world go by and say, you know what? Life is good. I could be in a third world country where I'm trying to survive, where I'm trying to live under a bridge, all that sort of stuff. But here we are in America, and we're so thankful for being an American. Now, sometimes you hear people not so happy about being an American. They're an embarrassment. They are embarrassed about being an American. But we have to think a little bit and say, gosh, it's really good to be an American. Look at everything that is surrounding me. I've got friends, I've got family. I've got opportunities. I've got the ability to really do or be anything that I want to be. I love Thanksgiving because it also brings back memories of when you were a kid. I remember when I was a kid. That's a long time ago. Yes, we had bathrooms and we had cars. Yes, it's not that long ago. Get that out of your mind. But when I was a kid, we would load up the car because my parents at that time lived in Seattle, Washington, and my grandparents lived in a little tiny town called Yakima, Washington. So we would get into the car on Thanksgiving. We would go over to my grandparents' house in Yakima. Now, my grandfather had 2 big old horses, but they were the most kind and gentle horses you would ever want to meet. But he also made a sled. Back then, when you skied, you didn't have little short skis. You had these long monster skis. They were long. So he took that and he made it into a sleigh. The kind of sleigh that you could tie to the horses. And it usually snowed in Yakima at that time, at Thanksgiving time. So all my cousins would be there, and we'd all pile onto the back of the sleigh. And we'd be going down the road. It was an old country road, too. Back then, they had tons and tons of apple orchards. So we would go through the apple orchards. All my cousins and I on the back of the sleigh in the snow. Freezing cold, but we didn't care because it was fun. We were all together. We were giggling and laughing and acting silly. Some of us were falling off the sled. So they had to stop the horses to let us get back on. But it's those kinds of memories that after you've finished that sled riding, you would go into the house and they would have hot apple cider, cinnamon sticks inside, a big old turkey on the table, lots and lots of food. And a bunch of friends would always stop by also from my grandparents' side. My grandmother from my dad's side would come over. That's the other thing. I remember staying at my grandmother's house in Yakima, Washington. And we would be sleeping, and if we needed to go to the restroom, we had to go outside, across the field, to an outhouse. Those were the days where life was so simple, but yet it was hard to get up and have to traipse through the snow out to the outhouse, and it was freezing cold, let me tell you. But you remember those kinds of things, and you say, gosh, life was really easy going. Life was simple. I was a kid, I had it made. Well, we weren't rich. We had very little money back then. But we always had food on the table. And we always had somebody to sit there and tell us a good story. And that's what Thanksgiving was about. Then as we got older, Thanksgivings were split up because the grandparents were getting older and just too much work for them. So we would have to split it between all the nieces and nephews and aunts and uncles and grandchildren and everything else. It began, as we began to grow up, we had to move around. And Thanksgiving changed. It wasn't that simple life anymore because everybody was fighting who was going to get the grandparents for Thanksgiving or Christmas. Those are the things that happen within families. But memories of Thanksgiving are so many because it's my favorite things. It's my favorite holiday of the whole year. I remember I started a tradition when I was in college. And you guys can do this too because it's great fun. I bought a white tablecloth. And I would invite people home every year because there was a lot of foreign students that had no place to go during college. And so I bought this white tablecloth. And then I gave everyone that attended Thanksgiving a pen. And they wrote their name and the date that they were there. I still have that tablecloth. It's someplace in the box somewhere because of all of my moving that I've been doing. But I go back and I look at people who came from Finland, people in Guam, people from Norway, people from Puerto Rico, people from all over the world that had no place to go for Thanksgiving, so they would come to my house. Now, my mom didn't quite like it. I mean, after she got into it, she said, "Why are you bringing so many people home?" Well, because, when people need a place to go home for the holidays, my home is always open. And it's always been that way ever since I've grown up. I started the same practice in my home when I lived in Los Angeles every year, cooking a big meal for over 50 people. And it was no big deal because it was something that I really, truly loved to do. But I remember all those people coming in from... I remember one Thanksgiving I had 4 guys that came home with me from Guam. And the one guy had a VW bug. No, not a bug. I'm sorry, not a bug. It was a VW van that you could slide the door open. Well, in Spokane, Washington, they had a street called Riverside. And on Riverside, that's where all the guys and girls would go down on Friday and Saturday night. And we would go around and around and around on Riverside Avenue, yelling at the girls, yelling at the guys, opened up our sliding door, because we thought we were cool at that time. We had this VW bug, and these guys from Guam had never seen anything like this. I mean, this was an American tradition where we still were able to cruise. So Thanksgiving, these guys from Guam cruised the streets of Spokane, going around and around trying to pick up chicks. Thanksgiving has a lot of good memories. I tell you, just to think back on the time of riding on a sleigh with my cousins, that's very special to me. Never be able to do it again. Never be able to do it again, because we don't think that way at Thanksgiving time anymore. We don't think of the simplest things. We think of these big outlandish things. And we need to keep it simple, because Thanksgiving is a day that we say, you know what, Cousin Ann, I am so thankful for you. Mom, I am so thankful for what you've done. Brother John, I am so thankful that you're a part of my life. And I am so thankful for life. So I made a promise this year, at this Thanksgiving time, none of my none of my podcasts would be about business or politics, legal issues, taxes. I decided that this week would be totally about Thanksgiving. I want to hear what you're thankful for. Send me a text. Text me at 818-252-5682. Tell me what you are truly thankful about, for, whom you're thankful for, what you're thankful for. Send me a text, 818-252-5682, and let me know what you're truly, truly thankful for. Also, I want to remind everyone, I really want to stress this. If you know anybody, maybe they're a new person at your church, maybe they're a new individual at your school that has no place to go, maybe it is an individual at your office or your work or the hospital you work at that doesn't have a place to go, that has no family. If you know of anybody who doesn't have a place to go, set another table or set another place at your Thanksgiving table, or maybe a couple or 3 or 4 or 5. Invite those individuals over to your house and say, you know what? We're so thankful you're part of our life and that you're a friend. Come on over. Let's have some turkey. You can have the turkey leg. It's so very important. There are so many individuals out there that have no place to go. And they're so grateful for that one single invitation to sit down at your table and have turkey, gravy, side dishes, and to hear your stories of life. And to let them share their stories of life also. Reach out to someone this Thanksgiving and set a place at your Thanksgiving table. I'll talk with you very soon, everybody. Go out and have a great day. And by the way, it's now time, official time, that we can start playing Christmas music. So here's one for you. Talk with you soon.
This is the first year that we are alone. The kids have all flown out. I've got a thought, dear, been planning on my own. So what would you think about us making a clean getaway, not coming back till New Year's Day? Let's go to Paris for Christmas this year. Let's go to Paris for Christmas this year. We'll stroll down Champs-Élysées, wishing our troubles away. Let's go to Paris for Christmas this year. It's been so long, dear, since we've been anywhere. I think we deserve as much. 2 first-class seats to Charles de Gaulle out of St. Louis Lambert Field. So let's make a clean getaway and not come back till New Year's Day. Let's go to Paris for Christmas this year. Let's go to Paris for Christmas this year. We'll throw Mona Lisa a glance. We'll make time for a little romance. Let's go to Paris for Christmas this year. Let's go to Paris for Christmas this year. Paris for Christmas this year. Let's go to Paris for Christmas this year. Let's go to Paris for Christmas this year. We'll dine at Atelier Roger. Just imagine us two sitting there. Let's go to Paris for Christmas this year.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.